Ariana Grande may be glowing under the lights of her Wicked movie debut, but the story behind that glitter is not all sequins and show tunes. Nope. The journey from Cat Valentine to Glinda the Good Witch was not paved with fairy dust, more like red flags, awkward scripts, and a disturbing lack of adult supervision. In the sparkle of the Broadway adaptation, it's easy to forget the shadows that linger in the wings. But when Ariana Grande sat down and peeled back the curtain on her early years in the industry, what emerged was less a behind-the-scenes featurette and more a cautionary tale with way fewer jazz hands than expected. So buckle up, because this tale is part reality check, part exposé, and entirely overdue. Cue the flashback. Once upon a time in the early 2010s, Ariana Grande was not yet a global pop icon. She was Cat Valentine, the quirky, candy-voiced redhead from Nickelodeon's Victorious and Sam and Cat. At the time, her bubbly personality made her an instant fan favorite. But behind that sunshine smile, things were, well, far less sunny. In recent interviews, including the candid appearance on the Pod Crush podcast, Ariana described growing up in the industry as a full-blown emotional science experiment. Not in a cute STEM fair kind of way, more like a Black Mirror episode with craft services. She reflected on feeling like a specimen in a petri dish, subjected to constant scrutiny, bizarre filming conditions, and an industry that seemed to prioritize content over, child safety. Child stars were child props. Let's be clear, Ariana was not just complaining about tight schedules or unflattering costumes. She was pointing out something much more insidious: the system itself. According to her, the environment in which she grew up did not treat young actors as kids, but as tiny professionals expected to act far beyond their years, with little protection and even less empathy. And she was not alone. In fact, her experiences echo a much larger, much creepier pattern in the entertainment industry, particularly in the land of kid TV. As more former child stars come forward, we are discovering that the world behind the laugh tracks and canned applause was anything but wholesome. Quiet on set, but not off camera. The docuseries Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, aired recently and dropped like a bomb on the nostalgic heart of every millennial. The series unveiled multiple disturbing claims about the production culture at Nickelodeon, spotlighting individuals like Brian Peck, a dialogue coach later convicted of abuse, and the questionable reign of producer Dan Schneider. One of the most jaw-dropping revelations came from former Nickelodeon star Drake Bell, who disclosed his own painful history with Peck. For years, fans associated Drake with catchy theme songs and goofy on-screen antics. But behind closed doors, his life was nothing like what we saw on TV. He revealed for the first time publicly how Peck's behavior affected him during those impressionable years. Equally unsettling were the accounts from Alexa Nicholas of Zoe 101, who recalled uncomfortable wardrobe fittings where Schneider seemed, well, way too invested in what teenage girls were wearing, even requesting Polaroids of the outfits. We don't know about you, but when a grown man wants to keep instant photos of underage actors in short skirts, that's not a stylistic choice. That's a subpoena waiting to happen. From scripts to sketch. Let's talk about those quirky jokes. Ariana, reflecting on her earlier roles, mentioned how she was encouraged to perform strange skits like squeezing juice out of a potato or drenching herself in water. At the time, this was passed off as offbeat humor. In hindsight, it just seems weird. The kind of weird that makes you want to clear your browser history after watching. I look back and think, would I let my daughter do that, she said. And the answer, unsurprisingly, is a hard no. Then there's Victorious, where scenes range from uncomfortable to full-blown what the heck were they thinking. One recurring puppet character made jokes that wouldn't even pass the sniff test at a late-night adult comedy club, let alone on a kids' show. Suddenly, the laugh track doesn't sound so funny. A culture of silence until it's too late. One of the most sobering things Ariana said was that for years, these behaviors were treated as normal, even cool. Child stars were often told that edgy humor and pushing the envelope made them stand out. But in reality, what they were being pushed into was anything but safe. Even more troubling, Parents were not always allowed on set. At best, they could drop by for quick run-throughs. Ariana revealed that only now in adulthood is she having deeper conversations with her mother about how things should have gone. Neither of us would want any child in that kind of environment, she admitted. Wait, why were parents discouraged from being around again? Oh, right, there's only one good reason to keep adults with protective instincts away from child actors, and it's not a good one. Nickelodeon's response. When the docuseries aired and the skeletons came tumbling out of the green slime closet, Nickelodeon issued a statement. And by statement, we mean a corporate Hallmark card dipped in lawyer speak. They said they could not confirm or deny what went down decades ago, and reassured the public they take all complaints seriously. We were not there, but we assumed someone had morals. They did not. It felt like a classic PR move, not a meaningful apology. And for many, it wasn't nearly enough. Ariana and others are now calling for serious reforms, like having child psychologists on set, unrestricted parental presence, and yes, maybe stop writing foot jokes into every script. What Ariana wants now? Grande's voice carries more weight now than ever, and she's using it to advocate for change. She's pushing for an environment where child actors are treated like children, not miniature moneymakers. She proposes wellness checks, mental health professionals on site, and open access for guardians. Basic human decency things. Groundbreaking. What's inspiring is that these conversations are happening at all. Once taboo, these topics are now front and center, forcing the industry to take a long, hard look in its makeup mirror. The psychological toll of fame too soon. It's easy to dismiss child stars' struggles with a "they were rich and famous, what's the problem" attitude. But fame at a young age, especially when paired with manipulation and exploitation, leaves long-lasting scars. Ariana has spoken openly about how reprocessing these memories has made her realize just how not normal her childhood was. Even if she was not directly harmed in the most horrific ways others were, she witnessed it. She felt it. She absorbed the atmosphere, and that kind of toxic culture does not wash off with a good facial. Is the industry changing or just rebranding? So, is Hollywood getting better? Some say yes, that awareness, social media, and exposes are finally shaking things up. Others say it's just another round of damage control until the next scandal breaks. There's also a cynical middle ground. If they cared, they'd have done better from the start. Instead, they handed children into the care of adults who treated safety as optional and comedy as an excuse for inappropriate behavior. Today, Ariana stands not only as a superstar vocalist, but as a sobering example of what it means to survive an industry that's often kinder to its viewers than its stars. And that's a wrap on today's deep dive into the not-so-sparkly side of childhood stardom. If this video opened your eyes, tugged at your heart, or just made you rethink every victorious episode you've ever watched, then go ahead and smash that like and hit that subscribe button. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and remember, kids deserve better. On and off screen. See you in the next video.